So here is a very long story short. But I always like to tell it because I think it's kind of an interesting story. And, well, I think it is. It's a good example of the good and bad in life, and that there's always good and there's always bad. But I truly think that everything happens as it's supposed to, and we just need to project what we want. So I'll summarize how I got involved with Evan Hansen. So growing up, I'll say that I always was a big fan of the musical Pippin, Rent, and fan of the opera, but that doesn't really apply. Those are my three musicals. But so while I was in college, I fell in love with the music of Patsy and Paul. I saw a lot of their concerts throughout the city. Actually, like I said, I saw one here. I sat right over there. Also while in college, I got into screenplay writing. And the first feature-length film that I wrote was about a girl who died by suicide and how it affected her school and her friends and relationships that she was in. And so the topic of suicide was something that I was very passionate about in talking about. I knew people who were affected by it, and so I greatly sympathized for that. So toward the end of my college experience, I guess in the middle, I was cast in a show called Torch Song Trilogy in DC, and I was there for a couple months, and then I came back to school. And at that time was when I first heard about Evan Hansen, because I was going to DC not long after that. And so I looked up the show, I saw Michael Bright was involved, that's Rent. He directed Rent, and among many others, and that Patsy and Paul were involved. The music I've been listening to for so long in college, and was a big fan of. And it also discussed suicide, and a topic that I was very passionate about talking about. So I remember saying these exact words, and like, wow, if there was any musical I could be a part of, it would be Evan Hansen. This was, a long time ago. So still in college, I would take acting and voice classes, and I'd walk by a certain theater called the Music Box Theater. And to get to these lessons, I would always, and I'm not making this up, it sounds creepy to say it now after the fact, but yeah. So I used to pretend to myself that I was walking into the stage door every time I walked by the theater. And the show that was there at the time was Pippin. So I went and saw Pippin several times, and I really admired the lead actor, Matthew James Thomas, who was playing Pippin at the time. I used to walk by the theater and pretend like I was going to work there. He didn't know that. But I told him that later. In college, where am I at? Okay. Oh, there we go. Wow. So a year or so later, I got an audition for Evan Hansen, and I auditioned all summer. Finally, got the show a year or so later, and it was supposed to be at the Belasco Theater, but then like a week before we started rehearsals, it was moved to the Music Box Theater. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. That's nuts. So the theater that I was always, pretending to walk in all the time, the musical that I always wanted to be in, it just was nuts. I couldn't believe it. So, and then at our very first performance on Broadway, guess who's in the audience? Yeah. Matthew James Thomas, the guy who played Pippin. And so I introduced myself. We actually had a mutual friend, and we got to talking, and he was the one that actually produced my EP, the way it used to be. And so we spent a lot of time working together. So it's just interesting how these things happen. Now, at the same time, this is where I said that's all the good stuff that was wonderful and great. Also, at the same time, we were going through a difficult time. A dear friend of my mom and I's, Ramona, passed away at that time. And I actually, let me tell you a little about her. She was very funny, really, really funny lady. Had a mouth like a sailor. It was always fun. And she loved everything English and British, so we would watch the TV shows that she liked, and we used to go to her house and drink tea and scones and stuff, my mom and I, so we had good times with her. And anyway, I got the call that I booked Evan Hansen the day after her funeral, so it's kind of I was very excited to be doing Evan Hansen and be starting this wonderful show, but I was also feeling mixed emotions mourning the loss of a dear friend. But that's how life is, it's the ups and downs, and we just have to keep moving forward. It's a Walt Disney quote. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, and in my bio, actually, in the playbill, it has Ramona's name in it because I always wanted, and I always think of her for every show. So this is a very special song that Ted put together beautifully. My two favorite shows, Pippin and Evan Hansen, and my favorite song from each show. And what I will say is that when we go through these hard times, and this is kind of with this song, is that it's always important to remember that tomorrow will bring a new morning, and always look up at the sky, because you will see sky for forever. So this is a song. This goes out to my dear Evan Hansen family and Ramona. Morning glow, morning glow, stars glimmer when you know winds of change are set to blow and sweep this whole land through. Morning glow is long past due. For forever, let the world pass by. For forever, feels like we could go on for forever this way. Morning glow is here today. Shine for all your worth. We'll be present at the birth of all faith looking new. Morning glow is long past see the sky for forever. Let the world pass by for forever. We could be alright for forever this way. Morning all by your lights, we can make the new day rise. Morning glow is here.